Hi, gorgeous. Welcome in. I felt really called to do a reading today. I wasn't honestly expecting to do one today. I was just feeling the call to it. Thought it was going to be, it was a normal work day for me in my corporate job, but I felt called by spirit to come on here today and do a quick reading. Maybe it was the eclipse energy yesterday. Tell me if you're feeling it, and where it landed for you. It was in my first house yesterday. I'm a Leo rising. So just kind of feeling, all of that energy, I think pouring through me and kind of clarifying exactly what is coming in and out of my life. So tell me how you felt about it. Tell me if it hits you in a certain way or if it's still going to be coming for you. There's obviously another one happening later in this month of August, that's going to, I think, also hit in a whole different way, in a very emotional way. So just check in with yourself. Let me know how you're doing. Very much looking forward to hearing from you. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe down below just to help this channel grow, and get these messages out there. And if you want to work with me in any particular way, I have some coaching programs. I do some one-on-one readings or energy healings. Just reach out. The ways to contact me are in my description box. I forgot my little incense holder, so I'm trying to figure out what to do with it over here, which is why I'm fiddling. Okay. Whew. Let's go ahead and dive in. I have a couple different decks here, my usual suspects that I love absolutely working with. So we're going to start with the Work Your Light Oracle deck from Rebecca Campbell. Just gorgeous imagery and words from her. I hope you're doing great. Hope your summer is off to not a good start because we're almost winding down, but hope summer has been good for you. If you're in the Northern Hemisphere or winter, I'm sure you're very ready for warmer weather. If you're in the Southern Hemisphere, we just want to, take a moment to say, welcome in. Thank you for joining, and I hope you're doing great. Let's see what wants to come in today. Ooh. Maybe this is why I needed to come on today. Maybe this message is for me. Trust the niggle. What is the niggling feeling trying to tell you? Which feels like it's about tuning in. It's about not just doing, the ordinary things that you might do, but there's something in the background for you. There's something which has been kind of speaking to you. And maybe this is also what the eclipse has brought in for you too, is just clarity really on like what it is you are meant to be doing, what your purpose is, what you want to be doing. That's beyond, I think, what you're currently doing. It definitely feels like it's like three selves, like maybe past, present, future. Because there's one where she's closing her eyes and one where she has her eyes open. Hopefully that's coming through on camera. But in the middle is definitely sitting this moment of just like, okay, I know that something is coming for me. I know where I'm meant to be going, the direction that I'm meant to be going. So taking that moment to pause and really honor, I think, what is that message for you that's trying to come through. Let's look at the book just to kind of see if there's anything here that might give us a little more clarity. Page 52. Besides what's just coming through. Yep, try as you might, it's there and it ain't going anywhere. Most people spend years ignoring their niggling feelings, throwing their best dollops of stubbornness, ego, and post-rationalization to numb them out. It's exhausting. It is exhausting. And until you face the niggle, life just throws more bait to awaken you, to draw your attention to the light within you that is bursting to come out. I am feeling this so deeply. The niggle is an arrow pointing to what is standing in your way, the relationship, the conversation, the decision, the shift that needs to be made, the stone in your shoe. Often we feel the niggling feeling in our body first. And I was definitely feeling it today. Like I was like, just going throughout my day. I took my dog for a walk. Everything was fine. And I was like, as I was getting ready, I was taking a shower and then putting my makeup on. I was like, I have to do a reading. I have to just get out there and talk today. And maybe this is also just a personal message for me, but hopefully it resonates with you too. Many people think that intuition is something from the higher realms, but in fact, it is the body that is the intuitive one. That's what I always say. Feel it in your body first. Working through our senses to deliver vibrational information. It takes just a moment every day to scan your body to receive the intuitive intelligence and act on it quickly. You're being called to face the niggle now. If you don't face it, the universe will throw something much bigger and more obvious in your path, which is oftentimes for me, I'm like, oh no, whatever, who cares? And all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, it's a tower moment. And you're like, oh, that's what that was for. Okay, now I understand. Thanks so much, universe. The inquiry here is, what is your niggling feeling trying to tell you? So take some time to, you know, honor what's coming through for you, I feel like, and not ignore it, not push it down, really give it space to breathe and give it a creative moment, like just a pause. And instead of just moving on with your day, give it a moment, play with it. What's that feeling? What would that look like for you? What does it feel like for you? If it's something about starting a business or, like doing an art project just for yourself, and just like you feel this need to kind of like get something out into the world. That's what this is feeling like for me. It's less about, how do I make money? How do I, succeed? How do I climb the ladder if you're in a corporate role or something like that? And really just like creating something, doing it for yourself, doing it for others, keeping it private, making it public, whatever that is. What does that look like for you? Just spend 5 minutes today, just taking time just to think about it. Excuse me, confirmation burp. Journal about it, just give it a moment to say, well, what if? Have a little fun with it, play with it a little bit, I think is what's important to come through. And then the other card that wanted to pop out today was boundaries. Where do you need to establish better boundaries? So maybe it's taking the opportunity to put some boundaries in, to carve out that 5 minutes in your busy, hectic day to play around with an idea, play around with a feeling that you have, and a lot of times when we get sick, it's because an emotion in our body gets stuck because we haven't honored it. So I think this is kind of like the reverse of that. It's an opposite of illness. It's an opportunity to bring more joy or creativity into your life. But you have to be able to identify what that is and honor its presence in your life, honor its presence in your body, honor the message that it's trying to tell you, because that's what wants to come out. That's what's going to drive you towards your purpose, or, just bringing in more of what you want in life. If that's joy, if that's love, if that's creativity, if that's money, it all starts with an idea, and giving that idea some room to breathe and an opportunity to explore and to expand. It doesn't mean you have to do it right away. I think this is just an opportunity today. Carve out 5 minutes, take time out of your busy day to daydream, to kind of let your imagination run wild, and maybe that will spark something in you. Maybe that will be like, oh shit, maybe I can do this, And instead of it thinking of like, sometimes it can feel really overwhelming to have like one big idea and be like, oh my God, I have to do this. And then I want to be, someone at the top of their field making all this money, and I want to be known for what I do. From this feeling, just break it down. Don't make it that big, lofty goal. Put that in the back of your head, but just think about, what is the one small step I can take today to honor this feeling within me? Could just be a journal prompt. It can just be being like, okay, I see this in my body. I see that this is maybe where I'm meant to be going in life. And just acknowledging that for today. And then maybe tomorrow you can open up your drawing book, if it feels like it's a piece of art that needs to come out, or if it's a business idea, maybe sketching out like, who would you want your audience to be? And just stop there, and then another day it can be like, what are your offerings that you might want to do? Or maybe the inverse, just, or thinking about like, what would your brand name be? Just, I think little steps along the way, instead of trying to just like eat the entire, what is it? Eat the elephant, eat the frog, like, no, that's the wrong one. Eat the frog is do the hardest thing first. But instead of trying to just like tackle the entire thing and feel like you need to have it perfect and needs to be ready to go out in the world tomorrow, just take that one small step. I know how busy we all are, and it's hard to carve out time to be able to do something you feel passionate about. So just break it down, small, small steps along the way. I think that's your homework for today and for this week. Just take 5, 10, 15 minutes every day and think about, what is one small step I can do that's going to help bring this dream into reality, into fruition, into this earthly plane. Because I feel like this niggle is something that people here on earth, I just felt it in my heart, need from you. So please bring it out into the world. I think that's the message that's coming through. We need your light. We need your content. We need your ideas. We need your creativity. We need your love. We need your joy. We need everything without being all consuming. And maybe that's where the boundaries come in is, identifying like, how does it not become all consuming and chasing that one particular dream? Because we all need balance in our lives, but just like your purpose is here for you. We need it in this world, especially in all these crazy times. What's just one small step you can do today? I think that's the homework. And I think that's the message really that wants to just come through. And now we'll just play with some other cards and see what else wants to come out. Now we have Angels and Ancestors from Kyle Gray. I love this deck so much. There's always great wisdom in here. So let's see what wants to come out. Spirit, any messages for the collective for today? Whew. This reading mid-August. I can't believe it's mid-August already. That's crazy. These days are just speeding up. And everything in the news cycle and how the world is moving. Just take a moment to breathe. I hope you're being kind to yourself. Yeah. Guys, these cards, you can't make this up. We have Eagle, see from a higher perspective. And then also Magic Guardian, unlock the magic within. So yeah, if it's not even just telling you, like, take a moment just to kind of like see things from a higher level and not get so caught up in the minutia of, oh my God, I need to do this. Oh my God, I'm late. Oh my God, this whole thing needs to be packaged and put out into the world tomorrow. Just take a step back, look at it from a higher view, play around with it, soar above the idea and kind of see like where that takes you. Because yeah, there's definitely some magic within you that wants to come out that we're all dying to have come out of you. So please, please, please just take some time today just to think about it. That's all you got to do for today. Just think about it, see what that one small step takes you to. So at the bottom of the deck, we have White Witch, be the light. I just laugh because it's all just so true. It all just rings so true whenever I play with my cards, and just let spirit come through and let me be a channel. Like, it's just the synchronicities. It's just so wild. You can't make this shit up. I love it so, so much. So yeah, please, the Magic Guardian here. Unlock the magic within. Don't be afraid to shine your light. We need it. In this crazy day and age, we need more creativity. We need more light. We need more love in the world. So whatever you love doing, like, again, it can be just for you, because then it raises your frequency and how you interact with people in the world. We need it. Just think about what brings you joy and what is a passion for you and what is a creative outlet. Instead of just consume, 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 think about like, what is something you can put out into the world? Because we have at the bottom, well, these popped out. Yeah, you might be feeling tired and overworked. This popped out first, the Nine of Swords. It's typically a sign of like, I see this as like, when you wake up at like 3 a.m. and you're like, oh, fuck. And like all these things are racing through your mind. It can be about work. You've got to do something. It can be about, oh my God, someone's going through a really hard time in my life that I know about, and I really am feeling for them, especially if you're an empath and you feel this. You're just like waking up thinking about it. If you're worried, I would say don't worry, because everything works out in your favor. The timing is always divine timing. You're not late. That feels important to say. You're not late. You're perfectly on time. It's blossoming in the right time, in the right way. If it's just one small step. So if you're worried about whatever this feeling is, maybe you're worried about unlocking the magic. If you have gifts and you're scared of them, like let's say you're a medium and you can like, see and talk to people who have passed, but you're kind of scared of it. I think that's what this is saying too. Like, don't be scared of it. Spirit has your back here. Spirit wants you to tap into it, because it's going to help other people as well. So whatever's on your mind, honor that as well. If you're feeling sad, if you're feeling anxious, take time to dive into that emotion instead of just like moving on to the next thing or disassociating, or just being like, nope, depression can't catch someone in motion, just like take a minute just to kind of like understand what the emotion is trying to tell you. You can ask it, or if you feel it somewhere in your body, just be like, hey, I'm feeling this in my right shoulder. What is it trying to tell me? And this is something we do in energy healing work with me. If you want to work with me one on one, we can dive specifically into that. And it's very much all about the emotions that are sort of like in your body, and what's trapped there and what does it want to say to you? Because I feel like once you kind of acknowledge it, it releases pretty quickly. So, if you're worried about something, this is just a moment to pause and to not, it's easy to say, don't worry about it, like just acknowledge the worry. Acknowledge what's coming up for you. Give it some space to be seen and to be heard and to be felt. And then it will pass through you and pass through your body. Because we also have the Emperor. This one flew out. The Emperor is talking about you as, a leader, as a sovereign being, as knowing what you want to do and create and lead others to, and being the authority figure that others are drawn to. An emperor has like a natural ability, usually, hopefully you're not a mean or violent emperor. I don't think that's within us in this community. Emperors are typically people that is someone, sorry, the emperor energy is usually someone who people are drawn to be like, yes, I see their vision, I see their leadership, and I want to be in that with them, And so if you're meant to lead other people and help them with their, unlock your magic to help other people, I think that's what this is saying here too. Like, don't be afraid of your emperor energy and shine as the leader. We just had an eclipse in Leo too. And like the emperor is usually an Aries, like a fire sign though. So Leo tends to also have that leadership quality in terms of like being able to fiercely protect is what it's just came to me, and be that sort of lion energy. It's king of the jungle. It's not being afraid to stand out and not being afraid to stand up for your values and stand up for what you believe in. And also a page of swords. So again, this goes back to trust the niggle. Pages are messengers, and swords is all about a mental, idea or thought, or just something um, in the more mental realm, which is again, trust the niggle. So trust the idea that's coming through for you. The messenger definitely wants to be telling you that this is meant to be. And then what's so funny is that the way I have these cards lined up is that the page is looking at the emperor and his eyes are sort of looking to the side in terms of the nine of swords. So I think what needs to clear first is this idea of anxiety or worry, because then you'll be able to step into your emperor energy and know that you can lead based on this idea that's been coming through for you. It's not a new idea. It definitely feels like this page is looking backwards because it's like, oh, yep, I've heard that before, and just being able to follow through and then dive into your emperor energy. But first, you got to let go of the worry and let go of the anxiety of the magic that is within you, and really step into your power. That's what I'm seeing, because yeah, at the bottom, Ace of Pentacles, bottom of the deck is Ace of Pentacles. So this idea is going to, bear fruit. It's going to be physically rewarding. The spirit here is giving you a pentacle, which is about, money and just tangible things on this earthly plane. So I think you might not necessarily have to worry about money, and maybe that's what's stopping you. Actually, maybe it's the money, the financial situation, that you feel like you're not going to be able to make money from your spiritual gifts, from this idea that you have. But truly, Spirit is reassuring you that it will come. You're going to be a leader. The money and the resources will flow into you. You're going to have to juggle something in the meantime. It definitely feels like for a small period of time. It doesn't feel like for too long of a time, but you definitely have to just start doing it. Put yourself out there. Face the scary bits. Not gonna lie, the visibility wound. If you haven't done any healing around your visibility wound, definitely recommend doing that. There's some great practitioners out there. Erin Lyons is one who I did some of her work around visibility wounds. She's wonderful. Look into her. There's some other great folks, you can probably find on YouTube who can help you with that. Um, or if you feel like it's something that's like a stuck energy, reach out. Let's work together. And lastly, we're going to have the Spirit Allies deck here, which I love. Speaking of frog and eating the frog, remember I mentioned that earlier? We have number 40, frog. Let's see what comes up. I don't know if, 40's been coming up for you, 40, maybe you are 40 years old. That's a nice turning point in your life. Moving into a new decade, I can say your 40s are pretty great, not gonna lie. Give way less fucks than I did before in my life. So number 40, the frog. I embrace my evolution. You can't make this up. I love this so much. Okay, out in still water, frog sits atop a lily pad, soaking up the sun. From tadpole to the form it takes today, again, the evolution of how things come to be. Frog has experienced growth on many levels and understands the importance of each of those stages. Frog knows that you too have learned many lessons, but it is time for you to emerge as the embodiment of your whole self, representing fertility and the abundance that life can offer. Frog encourages you to bask in the brightness of your own soul. You are full of unique life experiences, so take a moment to embrace your authentic self and leave any expectations from others go fluttering by without attachment to them. You transform beautifully into who you are meant to be. Welcome the ripe fruit of life in your next steps with confidence. Your journal prompt is, what has been the most powerful lesson you've learned thus far? So yeah, it definitely feels like, you have so many experiences, and it's just about trusting yourself and trusting what wants to come through for you to bring out into this world. Maybe it's even just like you read tarot cards, just read it for your friends. It doesn't have to be for money. It doesn't have to be for anything else besides, wanting to help others. I think that's so important. And then we also have Sagittarius. So maybe your Sagittarius is also number 57, 57. You can be Sagittarius or have it somewhere prominent in your chart. It could be your rising sign, your moon sign. Could just be the season that's going to be coming up. So maybe you will step out into your light in Sagittarius season. That could be important for you. That's usually later in this year. And then number 37, bat. Let's look up what bat has to say. 37. I remain flexible in life. As the moon rises, Bat emerges from its cave and takes to the star-filled sky. Relying on its senses, Bat understands the importance of being aware of your surroundings and moving quickly in case of obstructions. Navigating through the darkness is no easy feat, but with gifts graced by the universe, it can be done. The Bat has flown in to remind you that no matter what problems you may face in life, it's all up to you to determine the outcome. We're often faced with certain situations over and over because there's a lesson to be learned. Let Bat lead you through these moments and encourage you to be quick on your feet. Journal about your experiences so that you can recognize similar situations, again, the frog, about the evolution, and be prepared to change the outcome. Awaken your intuition and let it act as your guide, sorry, I'm really itchy. Awaken your intuition, let it act as your guide, noticing what you feel immediately when making quick decisions. Through this, you will learn your life lessons and in turn find blessings coming your way. Ooh, Spirit wants that to come through. I'm so itchy. Recall, or your journal prompt, recall when your intuition has kept you on the right path. How did you know what to do? Super important. And that will help you build the confidence in your intuition to be like, oh yeah, I remember this happened. And writing it down and journaling it out just kind of like imprints into your brain, because like I know for me, there's so many times I'm like, oh, that happened, bye. But when you actually write it down, it memorializes it. So, use your journal and just writing things down as an opportunity. God, sorry, so itchy. Spirit's coming through, that's for sure. Use writing down just as a way of like remembrance and to help you be like, yep, been through this situation before. Here's how it worked out in the past, and here's how I can just have confidence in what my intuition is going to tell me. So I'm going to leave it there. Short and sweet. Just take your homework again. Just take 5, 10, 15 minutes a day just to really honor that, feeling that's coming through of something that wants to be coming out into the world. Again, could just be for you, could be for other people, doesn't have to be big. Break it down into small chunks, small little steps along the way. Take 15 minutes today, 15 minutes tomorrow, 5 minutes, whatever. Breathe into it. Just let it kind of build a little fire inside of you. Just see what happens. I'm wishing you all the best. I hope this resonated with you. Feel free to leave a comment down below. I'm so grateful that you came to watch this. Thank you so, so much. And I look forward to seeing you on the next one. Thanks.